What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Homegrown Career Mode. This is episode number 27, and we start today's episode with some player training, where as you can see right now, Cook, Cedric and Collins are getting the drills. Collins now up to a 72 rated midfielder for us. Cedric at 72 overall as well, our French goalkeeper for this year, and Cook's still at 76. I probably will change some of those drills during mid-season, because right now these are the three probably best youth players we've got out there, but I wouldn't mind developing some of the lesser known and lesser profile players as well that have still got great potential, like Callum Roberts for example, just to get their overalls up a little bit to make it a bit more useful in this second season. But for the first game of today's episode, we travel away up to we said Upton Park there. We travel away from home to London to take on West Ham United, coming on the back of our win against Olympiacos by 2-0 at St Mary's in the last game of the last episode. However, our last Premier League game was our first Premier League defeat of the season, as we were beaten by the league leaders Leicester City, who are off to a fantastic start, and we were aiming to get back to winning ways in the Premier League. So first chance to us fell just 90 minutes in. The first goal was scored as well. James Ward-Prowse put in a corner, and Morgan Schneiderlin was the guy that got the goal. I was going for Gareth Bale, but instead Schneiderlin, our French midfielder playing centre-back in this team, scores his first goal of the season, and I think as well his first goal since returning from Everton. I don't believe he scored last season, but he certainly hasn't scored this season until now. Schneiderlin with a great header, heads it past the keeper and into the back of the net for his first goal of the campaign, as he makes it 1-0 and opens to scoring early. So Schneiderlin with a goal there with a header, as it's 1-0. 31 minutes in, Yarmolenko tried to play it through, couldn't do so, went for the goal himself, and Cedric made the save, it was still 1-0. Lost his clean sheet streak in the last episode, of course, against Leicester, so desperate to get it back here, as we were still leading by a 1-0. And just for the break, as we were still in the advantage with the 1-0 score, and we passed out from a free kick from the back, with Chamberlain finding Shaw down the left-hand side. Luke played it into Redmond, and Redmond held up and found Ethan Collins. Collins then played it inside to Lallana, as Lallana also held it up, and played it back out wide towards Nathan Redmond. Redmond into Bale. Bale on the ball finds Redmond. Redmond down left-hand side, holds it up well, stops the ball on a dime, cuts inside, finds Collins. Collins into Bale. Nice footwork, drags it back, beats a couple of claret shirts, stops on a dime, rolls it through, and there is Ethan Collins to smash it home and make it 2-0. And what a lovely team goal that was by Southampton. I've said before, it's so hard to score really nice team goals on FIFA on a consistent basis due to the fact that the passing is so inconsistent and at times infuriating. And as I always say, it's one of the most frustrating parts about FIFA's gameplay. Off the ball movement is absolutely abysmal, but that was a really nice build up. So many players getting involved in that nice team build up from inside our own half, and Collins smashed home for his second goal of the season to make it 2-0. And Collins as well, 2 goals for the campaign so far. Both goals have been really nice too. That one a nice team move which he completed for us, and the first one a scream against Watford. He didn't score all throughout the campaign last year. Now he's got 2 already. What a start for Ethan Collins, adding goals to his game. But the final score is 2-0. West Ham didn't really threaten at all in that game. The only chance they had was the shot from range there in the first half from Yarmolenko, and that second one easily caught by Cedric, and Cedric returning to clean sheet duties, if you will. It's unbelievable. Our 17-year-old French talent, I was sceptical about putting him between the sticks for Angus Gunn this season, giving him a number 1 jersey and making him our first team goalkeeper this year. God only knows why I had doubts about this teenager. But at this rate, he's going to win the Golden Glove come January. He's been absolutely amazing, and again, only 2 goals conceded all season long. Only 1 Premier League game we've conceded this year. That, of course, coming in defeat to Leicester. And Cedric has been a big reason as to why it is. He's been safe as house for the most part, and long may it continue. But for the second of 3 games today, we will return to St Mary's on the south coast here to take on Arsenal, and Unai Emery's side will come and take us on here in front of our home fans, where so far this season, both of our losses this year have come in front of the home crowd. Our defeat to Gillingham on a penalty shootout in the EFL Cup second round, and of course that loss to Leicester as well, which sees them stay top of the table. So heading into this game, just one thing to point out real briefly before we do get into the game. Some of you guys have noticed that occasionally the lineups will cut out before you see the striker and the bench for my opponent teams, or sometimes for our team as well. It's not me pressing X and being overeager, just for some reason EA's animation stopped there, and I can't do anything about it, so sorry about that. But Aubameyang was playing up top for Arsenal in this game, if you're wondering who it was. But still, the guy playing up top for us in this game was the guy who got our first goal 21 minutes in, and Gareth Bale. I mean, it's Gareth the Great. What a start for our number 11. It's 4 4 goals for the Premier League campaign already, and I discussed it in the last episode. You know, playing this guy up front is going to be a really good decision for us. Could we play him out wide down left-hand side and maybe move Redmond up top, but instead, Bale's got the finishing touch this year, and he's clearly showing that early. 4 goals already, 22 minutes in, we take the lead through Gareth Bale, and it's 1-0 to the Saints, and 35 minutes in, a good chance to go 2 goals up. Shaw receives the ball down left-hand side, plays through to Redmond, nice first-time fake shot, beats Piszczek, crosses the ball to the centre, and Gareth Bale, he just can't be stopped at the moment, runs to the advertising hoardings to celebrate with his stands with a nice little pose there. 2-0 to the Saints, 10 minutes before the break, and Theo Walcott this season yet to get off the mark. A really slow start for Theo, and you don't say that often with the pace he's got, but Gareth Bale is picking up the slack. Signed him back from Real Madrid for £70 million. We didn't give him the number 3 that he wore at Southampton when he first came out of the academy, because for the Saints when he started his pro career he was playing left back, but here at Southampton we know now he's an offensive player. He's not going to play in our defensive back line, and he's capitalising so well starting as a striker this year. He's been our main source of goals, he's our top scorer, and right now showing no signs of declining. So 2-0 to the Saints, but Arsenal started the second half off really strong. That shot just off target, and they were growing in confidence, and 64 minutes in, discussed him earlier, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang put Arsenal back in the game, half the deficit, and what a finish it was by the former Borussia Dortmund and St Etienne man. His trademark celebration there marking a wonderful goal, and for Cedric that's now his 3rd goal conceded in 3 games. Gutted for our number 1, but nothing he could do about any of the goals he's conceded this year. This is just an absolute peach of an effort by Aubameyang. First time, doesn't take a touch with the left foot, curls it into the top corner, and Aubameyang makes it 2-1 as the Gunners half deficit. So Arsenal back in the game 2-1. We were desperate to hold on to the 3 points in this game, and the final chance fell to the Gunners as well. Aubameyang had a chance to bag his brace, match up with Gareth Bale and make it 2-2, but Cedric bailed us out, gets it 2-1. He never seems happy as well, Cedric. Every time you see the camera cuts to him, he's always shaking his head or shouting his defenders. Never happy. Love it though. 17 years old, always striving for improvements. And his save there ensured that we would get the 3 points, get the win, back-to-back victories in the Premier League, and 3 wins on the trot. So our first big scalp against Arsenal of the series, I believe. No! Just remember we beat them last year in the FA Cup quarter-finals on the way to getting to the final before losing to their North London rival Spurs. But a big win there in the Premier League against them. 2-1 the final score. And again, it's Gareth the Great right now. He is picking up the slack for us on the offensive end. We are really struggling to put the ball in the back of the net in the Premier League. But Bale with 4 goals this season, 5 goals this season now, he's having no such problems. He scored 5 of our 8 goals so far, but still, brief look at the league table here, 9 games in, still a long way to go, not even a quarter way through the campaign right now, but Leicester City still top of the table, Crystal Palace in 2nd and us in 3rd. It's a bizarre start to the Premier League though. Spurs in 10th, Arsenal in 13th, Chelsea in 14th, Liverpool in 16th, some big teams there really struggling to start the year off, but that does happen quite frequently in career mode, and I've discussed this a lot of times before. The reason why this happens so often is because in the past 2 or 3 years, FIFA now have it in career mode that when a team goes into bad form, either an AI team or a human controlled team, it's really hard to get out of bad form. They seem to stay in that run for a very, very long time. And conversely, it happens on the other side of things as well. When you're in a good run, it's really hard to be stopped or to stop a team in good form as well. But for the 3rd and final game of today's episode, we will travel away from home and out of the country as well, off to Norway to take on Niklas Bentner's Rosenborg. Of course, Bentner once infamously of Arsenal. He's been in the news recently, Bentner as well, for I think he was jailed for assaulting a taxi driver, I think it was. So hopefully he won't be giving our back line much of a hammering. But either way, it's Rosenborg away for our 3rd game in the Europa League group stage. After 90 minutes, we'll be officially halfway through the campaign. And if we can make it 9 points from 9, what a start that would be. But the first chance fell to us 21 minutes in. I was waiting for Chambers to make the run down the right side there. Had cold feet, didn't want to make a move. Eventually it came to Gareth Bale though, and our man Namoy put the shot wide of the post and behind for a goal kick. And on the stroke of half time, a great chance for Rosenborg to go in front, with Levi getting his head to this corner for heading it over the bar and behind for a goal kick. So still 0-0 heading to the break. Not many chances to report in the first half, and if I'm being honest, not many chances to report in the entire game really. Rosenborg had a good chance here with once again Levi getting on the ball, rolling it through to Bentner, and what a story it would have been had the Danes scored the goal there to make it 1-0 and give the host the win. But thankfully Gunn was equal to it and kept the score scoreless, and our final chance fell with the final kick of the game and the final touch of the game with Gareth Bale. Oh, it would have been typical based on the start he's had and his recent form, getting on the end of a Jeremy Martin cross from the corner but heading it just wide the post and behind for a goal kick. So the first time we've been stopped in Europe to score and win as well. A goalless draw away in Norway, but it's not a bad result. It's 7 points from 9 from our first 3 games games in Europe. We are still top of the group. We are yet to concede a goal in the Europa League as well. It's not been too bad, and we're still searched to qualify at this rate, and these stats certainly lied here. It's one of those games where the stats didn't make much sense. It wasn't action-packed. It was a pretty tepid draw. We'll take the draw, though. Not a bad result, and we'll take the point. But that was today's episode of the Homegrown Career Mode, guys. So big thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed it, and if you did enjoy today's episode, then please drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a great evening, and I'll see you for the next episode of the Homegrown Career Mode very soon. Bye.